to that area. Now, if they refuse, that's different. But he clearly is saying, hey, listen, I'm CNN, tell me where you want me to go. And so I don't get it. I do not get it. And I'm glad I'm not the head of that state police right now.
Yeah. Chief, just to remind people, in case they're just tuning in, our correspondent could not have been more cool and collected. He was very respectfully saying, I hear you. I'll go wherever you want me to go. We're a CNN crew. You tell us where you want us to stand. We will stand there. And they didn't give him much explanation for why they felt that he needed to be arrested, along with our crew and our camera confiscated or seized. Chief, stand by for a second because we want to check back in with Josh Campbell, who is also on the street, very close to where Omar Jimenez was just arrested. And Josh, what's the scene from where you are?
Allison, you see the police moving in now with greater and greater force. I'm got a fan here in my shop that I have there. You see the National Guard. Beyond them, there's a building that's on fire. We just heard an explosion here, some type of projectile. Clearly looks like there are protesters that are still in this area. But as I pan over, you can see that there's now a large gathering of riot police that have moved in. That's what you're seeing behind that armored vehicle there. They were staged over near Precinct 3, which is just about a block away. They've now moved to this area. You're now hearing over the loudspeaker saying that this is now deemed an unlawful. Well, let's let you listen in here. If you do not disperse and stop all violent disruptive behavior, you will be arrested. Your order will be this area.
I'm Josh Campbell, it's John Bourbon here. Have you been approached by police where you're standing?
No, I can tell you that my experience has been the opposite of what Omar just experienced there. Talking to the police, I identified myself. I told them who I was with. They said, okay, you're permitted to be in this area. As the vehicle came by, they asked me to step outside of the street, which I did. And I, asked them if I could move back in. They said, yeah, you're good to go. So again, what happened to Omar there was clearly a lot different. And just something that we certainly haven't seen, where a journalist identifying himself and covering a story is then taken into custody by the police. Again, the police knew who our crew was, who they consisted of. They saw the camera, they saw the live shot in progress. Omar identified himself very politely, yet they still took that decision to make that arrest.
Josh, I don't know if you can see what was happening to Omar from your perspective, and I know that our audience can't see you right now, so let me just say something. And it is a statement of fact. You, Josh Campbell, are white. Omar Jimenez is not. I do not know if that played into this, but did you see what happened to Omar and his team?
I did not, and obviously what you just said crossed my mind as well about appearances here. I can tell you I was treated much differently than he was. I'm sitting here talking to the National Guard, talking to the police. They're asking very politely to move here, move there. A couple times I've moved in closer than they would like. They came to me and asked politely, hey, can you move back? They didn't pull out the handcuffs. So again, there's a lot different here than what Omar experienced.
And Chief Ramsey, if you're still with us, I just want to tell people on the left-hand side I'm listening to the commands of the police or the National Guard there. They're telling people to go home. On the left-hand side is our live camera that is still on the move. We assume it is now in police custody after our CNN crew was arrested inexplicably for just doing their job. And, covering protests, obviously, Chief, this is sort of a standard assignment. This is what we do. We know how to do it. We've done it for decades. And journalists know where to stand. As you point out, Omar immediately presented his credentials. That's what we are taught to do. And yet he and his crew have been arrested. And so there's so many things that are not standard that have happened for the past hours here, Chief. I mean, the police precinct was burnt. It was on fire. Police evacuated from that precinct. As Omar was telling us, for hours on the ground, they saw no police presence from about 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. And then at 5 a.m., he watched a line of state police show up They dispersed whichever lingering protesters had been hanging around. Omar had described it.
Omar is black and
And then
kill
they
your ass.
arrested our CNN crew. I mean, all of this is just, obviously demands a lot of answers.
Well, obviously, command and control is lacking. I mean, it's an issue. One of the things when you're planning your response
look at that
to a
force.
major protest or event like you
Look
had
at that
in
force.
Minneapolis, one of the things you talk about is media. You know, where do you want them to be? Where are you going to put them? And usually your PIO or
That's a
someone
strong
like
force.
that is the person who's in charge of that. And as long as they cooperate,
Like
which
1,000
clearly he was
people.
cooperating, you just move them along. I don't understand this at all. Now, last night with the police station burning, I mean, that caught people off guard. They did the right thing by getting people out of there so no one would at least be harmed. I don't know why they did not respond last night during the fires. Maybe they didn't have sufficient resources. The fire department will not go to a scene unsecured. So that's not surprising at all. But obviously that presents a problem because of the major fires, the possibility of it spreading and all that kind of thing. But what I just saw here now today shows me, or tells me anyway, that, there's a lack of command and control at that scene. They better hurry up and get it together because this is not good at all for anybody, and it was totally unnecessary in my